In the show Pokemon, Ash and Pikachu are the main characters. Pikachu was given to Ash as his first Pokemon, and if you remember from early in the show, they did not exactly get along well. Pikachu had an attitude, wouldn't get in the Pokeball, and kept shocking Ash, and Ash was doing whatever he could to get Pikachu under control. I don't think it was until Ash was getting attacked by some birds or something that Pikachu finally decided to help out and save the day, but that was the beginning of a wonderful partnership between Ash and Pikachu. They went on to collect all the badges, stop Team Rocket, and catch all the Pokemon, and do whatever else they allow a 10-year-old to do in anime. But to segue into the topic of today's episode, we're going to talk about choosing a healthy lifestyle. Sometimes I feel like that's a partnership you make with yourself, similar to Ash and Pikachu. Half the time, it's going to feel like it's not working out. Most of the time, it's going to bite you in the butt. But overall, it's a beneficial partnership that really propels you to be the very best version of yourself. With that, we're going to get right into episode 1 and talk all about choosing a healthy lifestyle. That's still my ringtone to this day. An exploration of sensors that empower humans. Sensor, sensor. Sensor, sensor. Sensor, sensor. Sensor, sensor. Sensor, sensor. I want to be the very best that no one ever was. Nah, but Kendrick Lamar said something really profound in an interview, and it stuck with me. And it was about how people call him the best rapper, the greatest rapper, but if Kendrick himself doesn't see himself as the best, he's not going to push himself to be the best at his craft. He's not going to work on a daily basis to better himself and improve from yesterday, from last week, from last year. And I think that relates to you being your best self and your healthiest self, because being healthy means different things to different people, but only you know how to be you and you're the best at doing it. So when it comes to being your best and most healthy self, it's like that Ash and Pikachu partnership. And sometimes I think about the alternative. If you see yourself as average or the worst, that opens the door for complacency, and you're never going to put in the hard work to be your best self because you don't view yourself that way in the first place. Anywho, just to emphasize how healthy means different things to different people, I held a contest for my Instagram followers the other week where they had to tell me what healthy means to them. So I'm going to run down those responses, and maybe you'll agree with some of them, maybe you'll disagree with some of them, but in any case, whatever it means to you, believe it and become it. So a lot of my friends were clowns, so I can't say everything in their responses, but here's everything else. Healthy behavior to me is keeping up on my mental, staying focused and not letting stuff get me down, and keeping up on my physical, trying to eat better and work out more. Healthy is being aware of what is and is not good for my mental and physical health, and taking action to keep both of those in a good state. Healthy behaviors are intentional actions someone takes to create a more balanced physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual state. Healthy is eating in moderation, knowing what works for your body, and having a good balance of food choices. Healthy behaviors. It's fun and long-term, energizing, and makes you and others feel fabulous. Healthy behavior is eating well, getting good sleep, and doing stuff that makes you happy. Healthy, as it pertains to the individual, would be things that support that person's regular bodily functions and potentially improves them. A healthy behavior is one that encourages positive outcomes or maintains a positive outcome. Healthy behavior means that I will feel good about myself and the impact of others during the behavior and after. Requires a lot of self-reflection. Healthy is exercising, eating nutritious foods, getting proper sleep, socializing with friends, practicing mindfulness, talking about emotions, and redacted. I want to thank the Sensor community for those responses. Your interactions and engagement really made me happy, so thank you for that. But to keep the ball rolling, if you're listening to this, tell me what your favorite response was, and that person will get rewarded, and you will also, you might be in for a surprise. So just message me on any of the platforms, tell me what your favorite response was, and yeah, we'll go from there. So we're still talking about choosing healthy lifestyles this episode. But before we get into that, someone had asked me, what does healthy mean to me? And I really didn't know. So when I think about it now, always think about the phrase health is wealth. When you think about finances and what wealth does for you, it sort of frees you, breaks you out of that cycle, certain things you don't have to worry about. Health to me is sort of the same way. Like your health should be working for you, your body should be working for you. And when your body's working for you and you're working for your body, that symbiosis is sort of like health. Like that's the state you want to be in. So that's sort of like my general view of health. It's more of a concept, but yeah, that's sort of what my take is. You heard a lot of different opinions in the past 2-3 minutes. So whenever you get a chance, I would sit down and ask yourself, what does health mean to you? What does healthy mean to you? And what do healthy behaviors mean to you? Sensor, sensor. Sensor, sensor. We now know what healthy and healthy behavior mean to other people and maybe even for yourself, but I want you to think about it this way. I was watching a video book review on Atomic Habits. It's a book I'm excited to read. It's on my bookshelf. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But the person in the video made the point that successful people and non-successful people both have the same goals. And I had to think about that for a second. But as you can imagine from the title of the book, the differences between those people boil down to the habits that they form. So we hear a lot of people have the goal, I want to be healthy. And of course we see that some people are successful in that and other people don't quite hit the mark. But I assume the book would argue it's just a matter of the different habits that people have to accomplish these goals. So with this segment of the episode, we're going to be talking about what systems and forces are at play to prevent people from being healthy in the first place. The inspiration for this episode came from a blog post I wrote on July 28th, 2020. Why are healthy actions hard to adopt? I would recommend reading that if you want more information. But that blog post was inspired by a paper I read titled Understanding Impediments and Enablers to Physical Activity Among African American Adults, a systematic review of qualitative studies. In their abstract, they state that physical inactivity is a leading cause of premature death, disability, and numerous chronic diseases. And throughout the paper, I think they do a really nice job of listing all those qualitative reasons why someone may not prioritize their health in the first place. And a lot of these stem from different barriers or enablers that directly influence the habits that people form to take care of their bodies. And I think these are different perspectives that are important to have if you're involved in any type of profession or work or field that involves helping another individual with their health. So without further ado, this is the list that the paper came up with. A lack of time, a lack of motivation, physical disability or disease, fatigue, a lack of knowledge of physical activity, hair maintenance, monetary or socioeconomic issues, a lack of childcare, family demands, inflexible work environment, unsafe neighborhood, stray or dangerous dogs, adverse weather or climate conditions, heavy traffic, a lack of public transportation, a lack of parks and open space, a lack of facilities. Now that we know the list, let's talk about that goal that most people have. I want to be healthy. The goal that some people are successful in and others aren't. And after hearing that list, if you can begin to understand that there are systems and forces at play and factors that prevent people from being healthy, then I think you have gained a new perspective that can help you understand someone else that's not in your shoes. So if you ever want to do some self-reflection, run through that list and just think about ways that you are enabled to take better care of your health through some of those means that other people might not have. But switching gears, there was this other book I read that talked about the importance of movement on the brain. And it made the claim that way back when we lived in caves, we constantly had to be on the move and hunt to survive. Fast forward to today, everything is convenient and movement is no longer necessary for survival. But they say that the combination of moving and using your brain is a great duo for mental sharpness into old age. And we think about the health disparities faced in society and the chronic conditions that plague certain demographics over others. Those barriers and enablers that we just talked about could really make a difference. So back to movement and the brain, I play tennis, and it fascinates me every time I go to the courts and see people in their retirement age play better than me. Tennis is a mentally and physically demanding sport, and it's activities like these that the book suggested are best for maintaining your overall health. You know, it's great to be moving, but the next level is moving and thinking at the same time. So physical inactivity can be just as detrimental as mental inactivity. So continue to challenge yourself in everything you do. And if you're interested in that book, it's called Spark. The last observation I want to share is how the elder population in Italy have much longer lifespans than usual, possibly because they prioritize getting outside, going on walks, and things like that. So we can all decide we want to be healthy, but without understanding root causes and differences in lifestyles between different countries and demographics, we might be missing a bigger picture. But as always, reach out to me so I can plug you into any of these sources. And just as a disclaimer, I am not a proponent of alternative healthcare, but holistic healthcare. Listen to your doctors, people. Sensor. Guys, you know I bring the nicest beats on any podcast. I know I just wasted a minute of your life, and I promise I won't do that again, but I was feeling that beat, I was feeling that build up. I hope you did too, but let's get back to the episode. We talked about what it means to be healthy behaviors, and how people are prevented from pursuing healthy behaviors. Now we're going to talk about biosensors and how this technology will make choosing a healthy lifestyle easier. Diabetes management is probably the poster child for biosensor technology with the continuous glucose monitors that has changed how people manage their condition for the better. But we talked about a lot of barriers that have to be overcome for healthy behavior adoption. Transport is a big one. Right now, if you want a diagnostic test or blood work or some type of specialized analysis done on your body, you have to travel to a hospital or a centralized laboratory or a clinic. Many biosensors are made to be portable, so they can meet people where they are at the point of need. So healthcare technology is directly addressing the transport issue, and this makes healthcare more accessible overall. Biosensors also address the cost associated with diagnostic testing. Many times, people want to get certain tests, but simply can't afford it. So a big push in the biosensor community is the creation of low-cost devices to address that. And furthermore, to address the timeliness of results, rapid biosensors are being developed, and you might have seen some of those with the rapid COVID tests that have popped up over the past couple of years. So we have biosensors and diagnostic tests that can operate anywhere at a low cost and in a timely manner. And these are all important factors to providing feedback that a patient can use to be actionable about their health behaviors. And this feedback is what pushes society in the right direction. as long as it's understandable to the user. And as the technology grows in popularity, so does the competition, and this will continue to lower prices and provide people options, which has largely been missing in healthcare. These options are important because right now many people do want to be healthy, but they're not given enough choices to pursue their optimal health. And we are very reactive as a healthcare system, so the move to proactive healthcare really can't be accomplished without low-cost solutions such as biosensors that people can use to educate themselves about the impact of their behaviors. We need to be proactive, and the first step is often educating yourself. If you agree and find that important, Sensor is the place to be to learn all about the technology, and there will be so much to learn by staying tuned. As you enjoy the holidays and gear up for New Year's resolutions, I encourage you to think not about goals, but habits, and furthermore, ways that you can be proactive about your own health. I'll catch you next time. My name is Travis. I'm your host, and this is Sensor.